If you've been working on your swing for a while and getting nowhere, it could be that your clubs are sabotaging your golf swing. Today we're going to take a look at what your clubs could be doing to cause bad ball striking, shorter shots, and overall wrecking your game. I'm Tom Segudo. I've helped over thousands of golfers all over the world play better golf through a simplified, powerful swing. And I'm here with my student, Derek. Derek wants to play professional golf and he's training really hard. And we had a situation recently where he was working on a particular move, but he couldn't get past this barrier. And what we ended up finding out was that it was his clubs. The club shafts were like swinging 2x4s, swinging trees. They were just so tight and stiff that he couldn't get this thing to bend. And when you can't get it to bend, it feels, the way it feels through the ball, it feels like this. Oh, it feels like this murderously slow. Oh, come on, get through. And you're trying everything you can, but in essence, it was wrecking your swing. What we're gonna do today is talk about the change we made so that now he's able to work on his swing and make progress in ball striking instead of being stuck at square one day in, day out. And we're also gonna do a fun little test with some senior flex shafts to show you how you don't need to work so hard to hit the ball far. So let's get started here, Derek. Let's just hit a few basic shots with your 7-iron. .204 carry, 89-mile-an-hour swing speed, 117 ball speed. That was a hot ball.
Yeah.
Now I remember before his swing speed with his tree trunk, like X-Flex clubs,
was
like 86,
yeah, 86 or so.
So you would hit it like what, 165, 170?
Yeah, I mean, even before that, I mean, hell, 7-iron for me off the old shaft. So to give anybody reference, I was playing a dynamic old X100 tour issues. On tour, that is a very commonly used shaft. They're 130 gram extra stiff, so very heavy, very stiff. They are not a bad shaft, but for me, they definitely weren't working. And when I went in, I did some testing. What we figured out was that the flex of having extra stiff, let alone having as heavy as 130, was not going to work. So now I'm down to 120 gram stiff shafts, the Project X rifles, I believe, rifle 6.0s, and that's already made a difference for me. Makes it a lot easier to hit the shot. If I was hitting a 7-iron with the X100s, even if I felt like I struck it good, I could get no past 160. And now it's more comfortable to get into that 175-ish range, I would say. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
seeing a 3-mile-per-hour increase in speed is significant. Especially when you were stuck at 86, and no matter how hard you tried to get past that barrier, it was like, do you try harder to hit the ball or what? You know?
Yep.
Dude, that sounded amazing. 91.3 club speed.
Yeah.
That's right where you should be with your 7-iron.
Yeah. So from 86 to 91.
86 to 91.
Big difference.
Some of that has to do with the lesson we did today, which we posted recently. But another thing is the clubs. So just going back to Derek's old swing, I don't want to demonstrate it for you because I don't want to ruin your swing. We've made so much progress. But I got a chance to try out these X-Flex shafts. And what I noticed through the ball in his swing is he would get to the top and you would see him try to bend this thing. He was trying with all his might. You'd see him pull straight down and the arms would shorten up. Now this is a recipe for a ball striking disaster because if your arms shorten up, your shoulders slow down. So they're no longer able to accelerate through the ball. Your rotation slows down. And then you feel like you're working hard. And a lot of golfers say, you know, I feel like I'm swinging hard and the ball is going shorter. It's a lot of it is this grunting, trying to get the club to bend, pulling it down, shortening up the arms, and stopping your rotation. So you basically have just killed contact, killed consistency, and killed swing speed. And in your case, like when we were working in lessons, we could do the rehearsals perfectly. I would watch you get over the ball and you would get set up, swing to the top, swing back to impact. You'd see this beautiful impact position, and the form was impeccable on the way through. Put a ball in the way, and it's like, why doesn't it translate? I'm thinking to myself, Derek's a great player. Why can't he get these feels? It's like, it's not you, it's me. I was thinking, you know, is it the club? Is it me? And in his case, in your case, it's the clubs. So what we did is I suggested that he looks at lighter shafts because he's working too hard. And here's the reason why. So one day he was saying the ball's going nowhere. I said, well, there are some power sources in the golf swing that you've got to unload, load and unload. One of those is the right arm. We fold the right arm, it stores power, and in the downswing we unload it. And that's a lot of speed right there. And in his case, he would load that arm and then he would just pull down and unload it immediately. Flip. So what I had him do is taking this alignment stick, this exact alignment stick, swinging it as fast as he could out here. So that meant he had to load his arm and then explode it way out here. Now show people from the front so they can see the whoosh. And just, you can do it two-handed, like we did.
Yeah, sure.
Swing that thing as fast as he could. Out here. Yep. Do it again. Whew, I can feel that. I feel the breeze. Do it again. Good. Now, kind of demonstrate the old swing a little bit. You don't have to swing fast with this stick, but demonstrate the old with that stick. Like, demonstrate that pull down. You're probably going to have that club hit the ground. But yeah, I'm not hearing anything out here. Yeah. Yeah. So, and that was the, yep.
I mean.
Yeah.
It's no speed back.
And you felt stuck.
Yep.
And you weren't progressing because of the shafts. Get this thing back out. Hit a couple buttes for me. What was happening, he was killing his speed because these shafts weren't allowing him to make proper form. They weren't allowing you to make the moves we were working on.
Yeah. I mean, when I was hitting the old shafts, if I was doing a rehearsal even with the 7-iron, so if I was going all the way up here to there's plenty of speed. With those old shafts, I felt like I could only get half that speed. So if I was pause up
like
here.
You didn't even, it felt like that tree trunk all the way through even on a practice swing?
Yeah.
And once again, that tree trunk feeling is that the shaft isn't working for you. It's like you have to grunt through it, trying to hold it all the way through. It's not bending. Versus whip, that's the shaft. So this isn't me working hard. It's just allowing, the shaft's allowed to bend, so it whips through the ball. So you're transferring energy more efficiently all the way up the club. All I gotta do is say right shoulder, get through. And then the club slings through and it slingshots the ball. Let's see another beautiful shot here. .9 club speed.
Yep. Another one that felt good.
Dude, that was sweet. 194.7 carry.
And I just can't emphasize to anybody just how much of a pain it felt to have to swing those old shafts. I mean, I initially did get fit for those shafts. My swing back then too was a lot more all the way up here. So potentially I did have that speed maybe to be able to get those shafts to do the job they need to at one point, but the consistency was out the window. So now that I have a more controllable swing and something that I feel I can get better results from, I've had to change the equipment to match with that too.
And the result has been a much tighter ball flight.
Yep.
And then my favorite part is, aside from that, more distance with less effort. Exactly. You're letting the club work for you. If you go to a PGA Tour event, like I was at the PGA Championship at Kiowa, and I was on the 17th hole watching Louis Oosthuizen, and it was like 225 that day, and he has this, it looked like a 4-iron. I think it was a 4-iron. I'm thinking to myself, dang. And he makes this nothing swing. You know, he looks like smooth as pie all the way through. It looks like he does nothing, but then the ball shoots off and he carries it 225.
Yep.
It was at that precise moment I realized I'm probably doing everything wrong when it comes to equipment, because I want to not work and see the ball go.
Yep.
I just went up to a fitter and I said, hey, you know, I want clubs to do work for me. I just don't want to work anymore. And so what he did was said, hold my beer and watch this. He gave me a new set of shafts, and I was still stiff flex, but it was just the way the shafts felt that slingshot that club through versus feeling like you're moving that 2x4. So we've brought along a little bit of a senior shafted toy here. Came right out of the back of the range picker, and it's got some more give to it. The purpose here is to show that you can let the club do the work when you have a lighter shaft instead of you having to work so hard. So we're going to swap out old reliable for, what do we got a name for that? We got a name for that?
55 gram senior flex Callaway head.
What I want you to show people is, I want you to barely swing. You know, just take a lot off this and let's see what the numbers are. All right, so Derek barely swung at that. He's not trying hard at all. We're seeing some ridiculous club head speed here.
What have you got
92 miles an hour with you feeling nothing.
92, yeah.
Now that, from my perspective, it looked like you didn't try hard at all.
No.
That's a Pro V1. We don't want to do that.
Oh yeah. What am I thinking?
All right, now don't worry about the ball flight being way up to the right. That's the shaft.
Yeah.
But the point is effort level. Don't even try. Oh, dude, that's a marshmallow. Holy cow.
All right, want to try one more?
All right, we'll do another one. My goodness, that's long. You're hitting it out almost to the, oh, that just hit the tractor.
Yeah.
213.3. That makes sense.
With
94.2.
94 miles an hour.
The club head speed metrics are insane. And how hard are you working?
Not hard at all.
Like
I'm not even trying to hit that golf ball.
Is it like one of those really slow, like practice swing type things?
Yeah, that's how it feels to me at least.
That's awesome. We're switching to a lighter shaft. I'm swinging less, but the ball is going the same. If in this case, it's going farther. You don't have to work so hard. This is this is comical to me. 93.7.
93.7.
That sounds like your local classic rock station or smooth jazz station. I mean, look at that.
Yeah, it's insane.
The difference is, Derek, you know, you check out your local club fitter, find somebody who can get you fit for clubs that will do the work. But, you know, do you want to swing where you want to work hard, or do you want to swing where you can let the club do the work? That's the difference. I think that's the biggest misconception with shafts out there, is that we have this ego mentality of, I am this player and I have to play stiff shafts, or I have to play extra stiff because I'm a pro, you know? Another stripe shot. You're making that 55 gram club look like a tour club. 93.7 miles per hour again. Phenomenal. This brings us to talking about how club shafts affect form. When you have to pull, all of a sudden, my chances of getting a shallow downswing are shot to crap. Because pulling action automatically moves the club steep and down. And I talked about earlier in an episode, that's flipping and weight going back, no rotation. But if you've got a shaft where, in your case, you don't have to do any work, the club's doing the work for you, the club is your employee. Oh, well, if I know I've got to make a certain move and I don't have to rush back to the ball because I know the shaft's going to work for me, I can just go on this path. I'm not afraid of moving. I can just move it right back on the same path because I don't have to work the shaft. I'm not thinking about working the shaft, I'm thinking about form. So in my case, I'm thinking about when I get to the top, I've got the shaft here, my arm is tucked in, my left arm is going to control the downswing, so lead arm moves off my body and it pulls the shaft along. See how I'm saying pulls the shaft along instead of pulls straight down to bend it? Difference is this club's going to accelerate through the ball, and the pull down is going to go straight down into the ground. I'm digging a grave for myself. Like his form, he improved faster in like 3 weeks than you did with 6 months on those old shafts because of all the work he was putting, all that undue stress of trying to work the shaft was causing him to make bad swings.
From playing, I can say that these shafts make it a lot easier for me to hit a better shot without having to put in the effort. In previous rounds with the older shafts, especially in windy conditions, it just felt like I was struggling to find anything out there. And even if I hit one solid, it still went nowhere. And the thing that shocked me most was, like, if I'm standing there from 140 and there's really no winds, that I couldn't even get 9-iron to that pin. And 140 for a 9-iron should be a smooth yardage for me. It shouldn't even be hard to get to. And at that point, when I was playing the shafts that weren't right for me, it felt like I couldn't even get close. So that should be like the teller right there off the bat, is statistically I'm missing everything short, and that's because I can't even get the ball to go there. So, you know, once I made the switch and got to these shafts, it feels like I can actually get the ball to where I need it to get to. And anything from there is really just down to the decision that I make and the shot that I'm trying to hit.
We were getting to a point where it was just down in the dumps with where your swing was. And it was like, hey, Lino, let's check that equipment first before we even think about changing the swing, because this pull down type move, when we're working on all these drills to get rid of the pull down, and he can do the form without the ball in the way. I know you can do the form, it's in there, you can do it. And it was just night and day difference with your swing. Maybe a few weeks after making that equipment change with your shafts, he started having the club getting shallower on its own, and you're playing some really good golf. So I'm actually gonna hit one here with your old senior shaft. I haven't hit a ball yet today, but I just wanna see, I'm gonna barely swing.
Yeah, I'd like to hear too how you think that shaft feels, because for me, I don't even feel like it wants to whip all that much. Still feels like a stable shaft.
No, this feels very stable. Actually, yeah, it's not like I'm swinging a noodle.
No, not at all.
That's another cool thing about these graphite shafts. They're lighter and they don't feel like a whole lot of work. So I'm not going to swing, just barely swing. Let's try one more.
Yep. Warm up.
Looking at the numbers though, 95.7 swing speed, and I'm just not swinging at all. Why are we working so hard? Now it does affect how you feel the club coming through the ball, so it's important to have the right shaft flex. Like, I feel that club kicking down a lot, so it's not a good fit for me in terms of ball flight and swing, but that's a 94.3 swing speed again.
I'd say the average between us was probably about 92 to 93 miles an hour for that shaft.
Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't play this particular shaft.
No,
because
I wouldn't either.
I don't like the way that feels at the bottom.
Yep.
I don't like how it affects my impact, but what's doing the work? The club.
Yep.
So we're back to your normal shaft, right?
Yep.
Yep. Nice shot.
Thanks. And so that one was a slight miss hit for me. Like, that was maybe just a little bit out of the toe, I felt. And I still got a good response to it. When you have shafts that, you know, actually work relatively well for you, allow you so that even if you don't hit your best shot, you're still close to your target.
Yeah. And what's nice is I can see you make better formed swings, not rushing swings in the process. That was pure. Same spot again.
Yep.
Another nice shot.
Same yardage roughly.
The nice thing about having these shafts that are fitted for them, the dispersion is very tight too. Like, you're swinging less.
Yep.
You're swinging easier and you're hitting straighter and it's going farther. So
those two were about 4, maybe 5 yards apart left to right.
yeah,
For a 7-iron, I'm not
two nice birdie putts.
that. Yep.
I see a lot of videos on YouTube where they're talking about trying to really whip through the ball, feeling the club whip through the ball. A lot of golfers are asking about, how do you get the club to whoosh through the ball? A lot of the times it's not you, it's this thing right here. That feeling of whipping the club, yeah, partially is keeping your arm in, storing this power in the angle between your lead arm and the club, that 90-degree angle, that often referred to as lag. Storing this arm, though, supplies that. And then what you need to do through impact is, as this shoulder keeps moving, it's going to push the arm to straight. Now, in that motion, you ought to have a club that slings through at a high rate of speed. If I'm doing that with a tree trunk though, an X-Flex, what I'm gonna feel is this. I'm gonna release it early and do this.
Yep.
Or I'm gonna hit behind it, hit it thin. So you can't whip it. You can't whip it real good.
Yeah.
So keeping it in allows you to store that lag. With the correct shaft, you'll feel it go from here to here, and then you'll say, did I work? Or, no, the club did. The club did it. Your form was perfect. You could swing slower and control your form. It's easier to keep the arm in when I'm doing it slower. And let the club sling right through. It comes right down to the equipment. The swing looks easy because it's easy to whip the club. I mean, the club's doing the work.
Yeah, I mean, and these are not like by any definition super light, super flexible shafts. I mean, these are still 120 stiffs, but but it's still that little bit of a difference. Still the 10 grams down or 10 grams less, and from X-Flex down to stiff flex, that I'm able to control my swing more. I don't feel like I need to rifle after it and have to, you know, swing out of my shoes just to get a ball to go and advance. I feel like I can just control my swing now, control my dispersion, get my shot pattern a lot tighter, and still be able to hit better shots at the end of the day. So
yeah, and when you have better control over your swing, those power pieces fall into place too. The control, like the tempo. It's like, oh, I can swing like this. I don't have to worry about having to make the club move. The club's going to move on its own. I don't want to work hard. The ball goes plenty far.
And it's like, you know, don't get me wrong, you still need to have good form, good swing and all that to hit decent shots, but when you pair that with the equipment that works right for you, you're going to get even better results.
Yeah, and it's a thing to watch now. It's great to see your improvement has 10x since switching to these shafts. So something for y'all to consider out there is think about your equipment. Are you really fit for the right clubs? Do you want the clubs to do the work, or do you want to work so hard? I don't think you want to work that hard.
No.
I'm tired of working hard. I'd rather think about working on a good swing than having the clubs slow me down. So thanks again for tuning in today, and we look forward to seeing you in a future episode.